Welcome back to yet another valuable video of the School of Sniper Entries. Now, I took a beautiful trade over here on pound USD, 1:6. I even sent a trade signal alongside with this trade as proof for everybody seeing this video that we know what we are talking about. And I really want to teach you exactly how I got that trade without hiding or concealing anything. Now I do have my playback tool over here, so it's going to be really good to really show you as if like it was actual live markets that I was trading. Okay. Now the first thing, I was on the H1 time frame to note, and I targeted the London session. I usually want to trade a pair within its own session, so the pound, of course, UK there, or London session. So definitely it has some momentum to it. So I always trade like that in everything that I do. Okay. Then given that I was just few minutes before the London Open, I began to analyze and just break down structure. Now I've taught you I love to trade with the trend. I love to break down structure. So that's the first thing that I did. And I really want to do it with you right now. Okay, so that's the first step, is to break down structure. As you can see already, structure here was telling me that we did have a BOS, the market from that point of, let me see if I did actually click that. From that point, so this, let's get into, yeah, there we go. So this lower high here is what facilitated the breaking of this BOS. Now, as it pulled back, it created a new lower high over here. Okay, so this lower high, how was it created? It was created by the market actually filling in a fair value gap. There we go. Filling in a fair value gap, and that's how we actually got this lower high right here. Okay, then given that I actually saw this lower high over here now, and it sold, but it never really broke the structure. I wanted to, as soon as it pulls back, I knew we're still in a downtrend. Why did I know we're still in a downtrend? Is that the market never broke any lower high. Okay, so the lower high that would be relevant here, it will either be this one's over here. Let me just take my zoom tool. Either this point over here or this ultimate lower high that facilitated that. Or if it broke this high, then I would have took it as we are now in an uptrend. So now taking that lower high to throw it as supply to the market, that's exactly what I did. How can you now break it down? I went all the way to the 50 minutes, making sure that I can look at that lower high, and it was good. And I'll show you exactly what I looked for. So again, I can highlight this. I took it, highlighted it over there, and we can call that an OB because we have one candlestick that's perfectly engulfed. So that was a nice order block right there. But was it a valid order block? Yes. How do I tell that it's a valid order block? On the left-hand side of the markets, we should have where the market was displaced. If the market was not displaced, I don't take that. So again, it was a break of structure. Instead of the market going higher, it displaced that market. Okay, it perfectly displaced it, giving us a lot of momentum. Now, given that we have that momentum, the market would want to pull back to cover what it did to actually violently displace that break of structure for the market to go to the upside. Because we're in a downtrend, it will be just liquidity for us in this case. Now, given that, I was already quite confident, but as well, just for your knowledge, I don't usually do this whenever I'm trading supplies and demands. But to know that it's also a valid supply or demand or order block is that it should have these attributes to it. Let's go again. A valid one, again, it should have where the market, again, if it's like an order block, a bearish order block, it should have where the market rallies, creates a base. So as you can see, the price fluctuated here a little bit and it drops. Given that it did that, there are more clearer ones like this one over here where it rallies, base, and drops. Then that is a valid also order block or supply. In this case, we can use the word supply. So given that I was sure that we had liquidity taken, we had the actual attributes of a supply where we did have a rally, a base, and the market actually just dropped, giving us that we can use this to actually sell further. Okay. And then as well as just before I entered the trade, went back to the 15 minutes. I saw another thing over here that we have liquidity. As the market was selling, I would have been very impatient to say, oh, well, it's not going all the way there. But when you understand liquidity, it is there to induce a lot of traders whenever it comes to trading markets. So therefore, seeing this and the market now selling and all of that, oh, look at that, I played it. I played it. Let us bring it back. So I was around about here, right? There we go. So it looks like it's just selling. Many people would just enter a trade right away in the fear of missing it. If you miss a trade, it is all right. Don't be afraid of missing a trade. So many people will do this and eventually just get stopped out because again they were impatient, right? So you get stopped out. So what I did in this case, I didn't allow my impatience. I just waited for my setup, trade the plan. If the plan does not go into how you predicted it, just leave it alone. So in this case, I was quite confident I'm just gonna trade the plan. So exactly, that's what I did. Again, if you want your supplies and demand levels to have a middle line, there we go. You just go to the settings there, you put it, you plot it. It just allows you to see 50% of that zone. That's where usually I plot my entry, as you can see. Okay, stop loss, I did allow that market to breathe, and I went all the way for a 1:6. Okay, it literally missed my stop loss with a few pips, 1:6. And as you can see, the market now begin to play out. There we go. And it played out quite beautifully. It did take some time, like a few hours. Okay, so somewhere here again, somewhere around here. It was a 1:6 though, because I had a very tight stop loss. It literally missed it by a few pips. Okay, something of that note, because I was targeting that the market would actually use this demand level as well. So I placed my take profit on the basis of what level is going to affect the market. So we can clearly see that this demand level did hit the market. So I was looking at actually taking profit into that. And my stop loss was missed slightly. When I say missed slightly, probably by 2 pips, 3 pips, the market turned around. Again, a lesson to everybody that puts their trades like this. Don't put it right at the zone, guys, to aim for a smaller stop loss and a sniper entry. Sniper entry, it is mostly assured, but allow that market to breathe, giving it just a bigger stop loss above the zone. Because good zones can also be spiked into. The better it actually spikes into it, the further it falls or the harder it falls. It's like a jumping castle. The more deeper you can go into it, the higher you go. So that's one thing that you must know about zones. Okay. And trade levels like your OBs and your supplies and demands. Okay, so that is what I want to teach you guys. So what to take from this video, step number one, always trade with the trend, validate the trend. I did it on the H1 to get intraday trade setups. Number two, I validated that the last lower high was a valid last lower high that took liquidity on the left, and also or was the zone preceded by liquidity. So what I mean by that, did the zone have a liquidity? If you don't have liquidity, you're probably gonna be the liquidity. So I had to mark that liquidity, and as it tapped into it, number three, I allowed my trade entry to breathe in terms of stop losses. So if you do exactly this, I do assure you that if you follow this exact steps whenever you're trading, trade within the session, in terms of London session or New York, in this case, we're trading the pound, always just target the London session, okay? And then always go with the trend. If the market has broke trends, that means it has broke the lower high, then you have a change of character, then just wait for it to create another higher low, then you execute from there off. And of course, yeah, thank you so much for watching. Do kindly subscribe to this type of content. We do really pour out our hearts when teaching this type of thing so that you guys can get it. I get a lot of testimonies from a lot of people saying, oh man, this type of content really does help us a lot. They send us, screenshots of them succeeding. So I would love to get more of that, people really succeeding in terms of the content that we teach. And also, if you want to really further your journey to the next level, this November, the few days left of November, we have a 50% discount as of Black Friday, everything like that. 50% discount. The coupon is 50% off. So you can apply to our advanced trading course and become part of, as well as our mentorship Discord. Okay. God bless you. See you on the next video.